tell you some serious beating.
Wow.
Some serious beating all over face, neck, back, breast, everything.
Hey guys, Wellesley here again from My-Island-Jamaica.com. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is different. This is a story of trials and tribulation, of abuse, of rejection, but it's also a story of triumph. This is a story of Dadiere. I have her with me and she's gonna share her story with you right now. If you've not yet subscribed to my channel, so I invite you to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell notification. I do a lot of videos capturing what I call the real Jamaica, but also stories, inspirational stories like these, and I don't want you to miss any of that. So hit that subscribe button, tap the bell notification, that way you'll see updated on all my latest videos. Hi Dadiere, how are you?
I am good.
Such a pleasure and honor to meet you in person and to be able to listen to you tell your story. You have overcome, you have had a lot, and I just want to, first of all, before you tell me anything, I'm going to ask you, what are you hoping to achieve from telling your story?
In Jamaica, there are a lot of teenagers, there are a lot of children, even adults who have gone through traumatic experiences like myself, sexual abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse, emotional abuse, and so on and so forth. And they don't have the guts, or I'd say the urge, that push to even speak up about those things.
Or the
and
avenue perhaps?
Pardon?
Or the avenue perhaps?
Or the avenue, yes. And so I want to be that voice. I want to be that voice for the voiceless, for the kids who are not able to speak for themselves. I am willing to make myself vulnerable so that I can bring the change to them. I want to be the start, you know. I believe that in Jamaica it's not talked about enough, and it's happening like you wouldn't even imagine. It is happening.
Well, I actually read, before I came here, actually, I was doing some background reading, and I learned that 1 in 4 persons are physically abused. 1 in 4 female, you know, is physically abused, and 1 in 5 is sexually abused. You know, so I can understand definitely where you're coming from. You have gone through a lot. You have gone through a lot, and thanks be to God you have overcome.
I'm alive and well.
And we're gonna hear about how you overcame, but I wanted to find out some of the most telling, some of the most traumatic experiences you've had, that you had to deal with.
Yes.
Share with me and my viewers a few of them.
Yes, I'm happy to share. So when I was a child, about 8 years old, my mother and her husband, they used to go to the market, right? So they had to find somewhere to leave me and my other siblings, because you know they're going to be out. So usually how it goes is that on a Friday they'll gather the stuff to go to the market, and then they'll sell them on the Saturday, and then they get back home Saturday night into Sunday morning, like before day, and then Sunday morning they'll pick us up, because you know we have to go to church and so on and so forth. So they decided to leave me with the great uncle. And I call him the great uncle because this was someone, he was in his 30s at the time. This was someone who portrayed himself to be so interested in his niece's education and those kind of things. So I call him the great uncle. And so they would leave me there at his house, and the setup for the house was 2 bedrooms, a kitchen, a living room, and there was a shop attached to it. And it's a country, so you know, outside we do the bathing and so on. The toilet and so on is on the outside.
Understand.
And in his room there were 2 beds, one belonging to his mother, one for him, and in the other room was his other brother, but he was kind of to himself. He was kind of isolated from the family, like didn't really recognize us, even as his nieces and so on. So I would have to sleep with my uncle because sometimes my other cousin would come over on the Friday night. And I remember as a child, I would be sleeping and I could feel him trying to force his private parts, and I would try to like shift away and he would pull me back, and I didn't know how to deal with it as a child. And the aftermath, I could only describe it as there was some yucky stuff on my leg at the time, and I was not hurt. As a matter of fact, well, it's kind of fading now. I was actually beaten when it first came out of my mouth, and so I just like went with it, you know, because as a child I don't want any beating, they're not believing me, and so I just went with it, and it went on for a very long time until they stopped. One of them stopped going to the market until I was old enough to be accompanying them.
So you were around 8 or 9, you said, and you mentioned it to your parents. And what happened, Dadiere?
Nothing. I was beaten and told not to lie on him because, as I said, he was a great uncle. So that went on, as I said, for a while.
Even after you mentioned it to your parents?
Yeah, I had, well, it faded after a while because I was beaten and I was also scarred, but I don't really have the scar to show anymore.
Thanks be to God.
But yes, I was told not to lie on him. And funny enough, when I was about 13 years old, when I got my first phone, was a Nokia, the fridge. He sent me a message to say that he's in love with me.
Ah, the same person?
Same great uncle, same uncle.
No. Oh.
Yes.
No, I, you know, all right, go ahead.
Years later, since I became an adult, he was sending me stuff on my Facebook. Nothing negative. But I was told that he's now a Christian, and I noticed he also have a daughter, and I had sent him a message to say, you know, do not message my phone until you confess to what you did. Today he has not confessed, but I honestly do not wish the same for his child. Yeah.
Were there any other type of abuse that you had to deal with?
Yes, definitely. So I can share one instance. So when I was about 15 years old, I remember coming in from school, and there were rumors going around in the community that my mother's husband is not my father. Of course, I did not bring myself into the world, so I did not. There was nothing for me to speak to, and that's another story for another day. That's a whole story by itself. But I got in from school. I remember changing off, you know, my uniform and stuff, and at the time my grandma was staying with us, and I remember going into her room, and we're there, you know, gelling as usual, and I remember my mother's husband coming into the room, and I don't know if you know, like a rubber, it was a rubber that you get from the tire, right? And he just started whipping me, just started beating me all over.
Hold on. So let me interject.
Without any explanation.
So let me interject a little bit. Sorry, Aman. So you said there was rumors that your mother's husband is not your father. Okay. So he's the same person now who just started to just...
I refer to him as my mother's husband.
Oh, okay. All right, good. Continue.
Right. So, where was I? Right, so he was whipping me. Like, let me tell you, some serious beating.
Oh.
Some serious beating all over. Face, neck, back, breast, everything. And I did not shed a tear because he wasn't even saying anything. He was just in this rage, beating me. And so I remember just grabbing up my school bag and whatever little clothes that my hand could catch on, and I went through the door, and I remember him saying, "Don't come back here, don't come back here, don't come back." And I knew in my head that I wasn't going to go back, not only because of the fact that he just physically abused me, but because of the fact that the environment that I was living in, domestic violence, that I was exposed to everything, it was just it was too much.
Yeah.
It was too much, and I left that night and I started walking. I don't know where I was going.
Wow, just like that?
I started walking and I stopped by one of my cousins, and she had a one bedroom country style, you know, the flooring, red floor, whatever, and she had 3 kids and herself. And so she offered me the floor, and I took the floor and I slept on the floor the night. And when I got up in the morning, I could see the bruises. That's when I actually started crying, because I could see the bruises. My breast was swollen. I could see the bruises, and like they're just soaking, the swelling all over my body.
Up to that point, you still didn't know why you were getting you got the beating, eh?
No, I didn't know why I was beaten. Until I knew after, but I didn't know why. At the time, I was.
You can laugh now
beaten.
because you've overcome.
I was bitter.
Yeah.
Yes, very bitter. But yeah, so I went actually to a very prominent hospital. Let me tell you, the system in Jamaica, it's different.
Yeah.
But God knows all things.
Yeah.
I remember going to the hospital and the doctor asking me what did I do for him to beat me like that. And I was inarticulate, like, you know, because I just had this rage. I was just hurting, and so I didn't give her any response. All she did was give me a prescription, and I came back home. It was not until the Tuesday during that week that I learned why he was upset.
Tuesday of the following week?
Right, the same week. I think it happened the Monday. The Monday when I got in from school.
Oh, so it's the following day?
Yes.
Okay.
No, it wasn't the following day, no. It was the Wednesday.
Okay.
It was the Wednesday.
Okay.
When I got in from at my cousin's house, she was saying to me that he was looking for me with a machete.
What?
Saying that he's going to kill me. And I I know that man.
Yeah.
And if he say more kilo, more kilo, because of what his behavior in the community.
Oh.
And so I took up my little knapsack from my cousin and I say, why though? Like I was trying to find out from her, like, why though? And she was the one that shared with me that he said his best friend, and for legal purposes, I'm gonna call the friend Sam. His best friend Sam told him that he asked me if it's true that he's not my father, and I told him yes.
Oh.
And so he came and was taking that out on me.
And that was totally untrue.
That was not true. I did not have any conversation.
And regardless, whether or not.
I did not have any conversation with that man. I cannot speak to it. I did not bring myself into this world. So even if there were rumors, because clearly the community had my DNA, had my medical files, even if that was the case, I wouldn't still be in a position to say whether or not he is, because I did not take myself into this world. And so I left.
Yeah.
I left.
So you've overcome that, you think? I mean, you're at a better place now?
A way better place.
Yeah.
If I should have a child, in all honesty, it would be my life for my child's life, because I would protect that child at all costs. Having that experience, and also having seen other people, other kids experiencing the same. So yes, it had really changed the way I think. And you know, a lot of people feel as though when you are raped, when you are sexually abused, it's something that you can get past. That's not the case. Having gone through several, I've been raped 4 times. I've been sexually assaulted more than 8 times. So I know exactly what I'm saying to you. It's that you heal, but the scar is still there. I remember moments when I had triggers, like if I'm watching a particular movie or I'm, made aware of a particular situation that happens to maybe a child, even an adult, and I am usually like out of it, like anxiety just take over right there and then. But over time,
because of the memories.
right, so but over time I learned to manage the process. And so I try to look at it in a way that is optimistic, in terms of, so many of them would have gone through what I've gone through, but they were killed. And so I'm happy that that has not been my case, in all the situations.
To God be the glory. I was going to ask you what are some of the other traumatic experiences you have, but I'm not sure if you want to speak to that, or you actually alluded to some, you mentioned other cases, like 4 other times you were raped and so on. I think probably for the benefit of time,
yes,
yeah, we will, and a bit of privacy too, we'll leave that. But you also have a book, I heard.
yes. I have a book. It's called Me. It's entitled Me, Overcoming and Becoming. It's a compilation of narrative poetry documenting some of those same traumatic experiences that I feel the need to share with the world. The book is available on Amazon, so you can go to amazon.com and type Me, Overcoming and Becoming, and you'll see it there. You'll find it there.
Okay. How are you able to get through all of that and become, in my words, a new creation?
Well, there are several things that I have done. As I said, I engaged myself in extracurricular activities. I participated in events. I participated in just about anything that would basically keep me out of trouble. I also, very importantly, knew from the start that I needed a mentor, and so at each stage of my life I ensured that I rested myself under the arms of somebody that I know that can basically guide me in the right direction. I'm an avid reader, so I read a lot of books. I read a lot of books on success, on leadership, and so on and so forth. So yes, that's basically how I channel those. And last but not least, it's very, very, very important. Very important. You have to pray. You have to build a relationship with God. It's very important that you know God for yourself. This is going to play a vital role in your growth, your development, and your healing.
Awesome. There's so much more. We're gonna refer persons to get your story in the book. Speak to that young lady, and I'm gonna say young man too, because abuse is not just limited to a particular gender. I believe a lot of young men too are going through tough times. There's a school of thought that the men are more vulnerable now. The young boys are more vulnerable now. But anyway, speak to that young boy or young girl who might be going through situations that you did, or situations that you had.
Keep your head up. It gets better. There are better days ahead. I've had my fair share of wanting to give up. I've had my fair share of attempted suicide. I've had my fair share of just throwing in the towels. But when you have purpose on your life, and I believe that all of you, every single person, every single being came on this earth with a purpose. So stay true to your purpose. Stay true to your call. It is rough, it is tough, it's hard, but
And even
hold the fort.
Yeah.
I tried to enroll myself in extracurricular activities. I got myself involved in JCDC, National Youth Service, all over, just to keep myself out of trouble, just to keep myself, on a path. And yes, I've made a lot of mistakes. it's not that you're not going to make any mistakes. You are going to make mistakes, but it's how you move forward from them. So I'm not coming to you as a victim, I'm a victor, and you can be too.
Awesome. So Dadiere, again, I want to thank you for coming to share your story with the world. I hope someone has been touched.
Yes.
Touched by your story, and above that, some sort of therapy. Because as you said, a lot of persons go through these kind of experiences and they basically just keep it to themselves. So that is my hope and goal, that helping to share your message with the world, it will bring therapy to persons.
Right.
If there's someone, if there are persons who want to reach out to you for whatever reason, whether to speak to you further, for counseling, for whatever it is, maybe to talk to you a little more, some sort of interview, how can they get in touch with you?
Okay, so my email address is dlicona, and that's DLICONA 29 at yahoo.com. My Instagram handle is me_poetry_book.
All right, and also guys, there is a link in the description below. Make sure you check that out as well. The link to her book, what's the name of the book again, Dadiere?
Me Overcoming and Becoming.
Yeah, it's on Amazon.
Yes, it is available on Amazon.
You can search on Amazon, but there's a link as well in the description below. I'd love to hear from you though. Share your comments, and this is a story worth sharing, and that's why Dadiere came here to talk to you.
Yes.
Using my platform. So please share this message, bring some therapy to someone. You want to say something else, Dadiere?
Yes, Mr. Wesley. And I just want to leave a message with you. And for me, for my book, it's about the message, right? A lot of us, we go through our different struggles, and I cannot scream for pain that I've never felt. And but just know that those struggles, they're meant to shape you and to push you into your destiny, into your divine purpose. We're often told that, even when I was going through, I was told that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And it seems cliche, like I couldn't see that light, because I was so swamped, so covered by my circumstances. But today, having gone through the tunnel, I can say that there are better days at the end of the tunnel. Better days.
Awesome. Fantastic. Yes. Thank you. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And from who you are now and who you are going to become. Yes, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for sharing.
You are most welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All the best. Wow. There you go, guys. A story of trials and tribulations. But more importantly, a story of triumph. That's the story of Dadiere. I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment down below, and remember, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, I invite you to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell notification. I do a lot of videos, stuff like these, capturing what I call the real Jamaica, but I also capture people like her, personalities and inspirational stories. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and tap the bell notification. That way you'll stay updated on all my latest videos. This is Real Jamaica.